Welcome to Trending Update USA. I am Steffan, and today we dive into the escalating storm shaking the world of women's tennis, an unexpected twist in the growing tension between Elena Rybakina and Coco Gauff that has erupted into one of the most talked about dramas of the season. What began as subtle competitive friction on court has now evolved into something much bigger, much louder, and far more dramatic than fans or analysts were prepared for. As this storyline unfolds, new revelations, reactions, and behind-the-scenes whispers paint a picture of rivalry, pride, and pressure colliding all at once, setting the tennis world into a frenzy. For months, fans have sensed a chilly dynamic between Rybakina and Gauff, but the past 48 hours have pushed the tension to a completely new level. It began with a surprising on-court moment from their latest match, one that instantly lit social media on fire. As the match tightened, both players became visibly intense, but it was a late-set disagreement over a line call challenge that served as the spark for everything that followed. Rybakina appeared frustrated when Gauff opted to take extra time between points while checking with the umpire, and though Gauff insisted she was simply clarifying a call, Rybakina's expression told a different story. Slow-motion replays quickly circulated online showing Rybakina shaking her head, then appearing to say something under her breath as she returned to the baseline. While many players would have brushed off the moment, tennis fans have grown hyper-attuned to these micro-interactions, especially when the players are among the top names on the WTA Tour. Within minutes, Twitter, now X, began dissecting facial expressions, body language, and exchanges between the two stars. Memes exploded, commentary erupted, and what was once merely a competitive match suddenly transformed into a global debate about sportsmanship, rivalry, and attitude on court. But the real shock came after the match when reporters asked Rybakina about the incident. Instead of deflecting, as she usually does with diplomatic calmness, she went noticeably off-script. She stated that some players take more time than necessary, and suggested that gamesmanship was becoming too common in high-pressure matches. Though she never mentioned Gauff by name, everyone knew exactly who she was referring to. The tennis world froze for a moment, then exploded in reaction. Commentators replayed the clip over and over. Former pros weighed in. Fans began choosing sides. And from that point on, the drama only escalated. Coco Gauff did not immediately respond that night, but when she arrived at the venue the next morning, cameras were waiting. She appeared composed, even cheerful, greeting fans, signing autographs, and offering smiles. But backstage, according to multiple reporters, the mood was more tense. When asked in her press conference whether Rybakina's comments were directed at her, Gauff did not deny it. Instead, she answered with a measured, steady tone. "I don't know who she was talking about, but I always play within the rules. And if someone has a problem with that, they can talk to me directly." It was a subtle jab, delivered professionally, but unmistakably sharp. And that was all the internet needed. Within hours, hashtags began trending, hashtag Team Rybakina, hashtag Team Gauff, hashtag WTA Cold War, hashtag Serve the Drama. Analysts flooded YouTube with opinion videos. Tennis channels posted frame-by-frame breakdowns of the match drama. Fans dug up past interactions where the two players seemed less than friendly. An awkward handshake at a previous tournament, a minimal exchange during media day, a disputed point in a match from last season. Individually, these moments seemed insignificant, but when pieced together, a larger narrative began to form. The twist no one saw coming arrived mid-afternoon when Rybakina's coach was approached for comment. Instead of offering a neutral statement, he fired back, saying that Rybakina has always played with integrity and that she shouldn't be punished for calling out behavior that disrupts the rhythm of the match. The comment was vague enough to avoid direct accusation, but pointed enough to ignite even more controversy. Suddenly, what began as a comment about pace of play had spiraled into a full-blown debate over professionalism, attitude, and psychology between two of the tour's biggest stars. But behind the scenes, insiders revealed that the tension had been brewing long before this week. According to several people close to the tour, Rybakina and Gauff have never been particularly close. Their personalities, playing styles, and competitive temperaments are drastically different. Rybakina is calm, stoic, and understated, rarely showing emotion on court or in interviews. Gauff is charismatic, outgoing, expressive, and unafraid to call attention to issues she cares about. These differences aren't negative, but they do create a natural contrast. Add in the fact that both players are fighting for major titles, ranking positions, and sponsor attention, and the pressure becomes a perfect recipe for conflict. One insider noted that there have been small disagreements in the past, nothing public, nothing dramatic, but moments where competitive friction surfaced. One incident allegedly occurred during practice court scheduling at a major tournament last year, where both camps wanted the same time slot. Another source claims that during a players' council meeting, the two stars had differing opinions on a discussion about match scheduling logistics. These disagreements were minor, but when tensions rise, even small conflicts can resurface and fuel bigger ones. Fans have begun speculating whether this rivalry could evolve into something similar to the legendary rivalries of past generations, a dynamic where opposites clash, pushing each other and raising the intensity of the tour. But for now, the atmosphere feels more tense than inspiring. Commentators have noted that the pressure on Gauff, as one of the youngest stars and one of the most marketable athletes in the sport, has intensified this season. Meanwhile, Rybakina is navigating an exhausting schedule, dealing with injury concerns, and balancing expectations from fans and sponsors who see her as one of the tour's most consistent performers. When two athletes under immense stress collide in high-stakes environments, misunderstandings often become magnified. Then came the most unexpected twist, a leaked locker room detail. Several journalists reported that after the match, Rybakina walked past Gauff without making eye contact, and Gauff reportedly reacted with a quiet, "All right then." Though no video exists, the story spread quickly, adding fuel to the narrative that all is not well between these top players. Fans began posting speculation theories, ranking the coldest handshakes of the WTA season, and debating whether this drama is harming or helping the sport. But another surprise arrived when a former WTA star joined the conversation. She posted on social media that players need to stop pretending they don't shade each other. This has been going on forever, suggesting that the Rybakina-Gauff clash is nothing new for the tour. Her comments encouraged more players, past and present, to offer their own perspectives, creating a wave of commentary that made the feud feel even more significant. Despite the rising tension, tournament organizers have remained silent, offering no official comment. However, sources indicate that both players were asked privately to avoid further public escalation. Still, fans can't stop discussing the storyline. Every new interview, every subtle expression during warm-ups, every interaction between the two is being monitored like an episode of a hit TV drama. As the day progressed, new angles emerged. Some analysts argued that Rybakina's frustration stemmed from larger issues with the tour's officiating consistency. Others suggested that Gauff's style of slowing down the pace isn't gamesmanship but simply her standard match routine. Then there are those who believe the issue is deeper, something personal between the two players that has yet to be fully revealed. Adding to the frenzy, major sponsors have been watching closely. Both athletes represent major global brands, and controversies like these can be both a headache and a marketing opportunity. Social media engagement around the drama was reportedly among the highest of the month for the WTA. Marketing analysts note that rivalries, even tense ones, drive interest in the sport, boost ticket sales, and increase broadcast engagement. Some believe this storyline will become a centerpiece of WTA marketing for the remainder of the season, whether the players like it or not. But perhaps the biggest question looming over the tennis world is what happens next. Will the tension continue to escalate? Will the players address each other privately? Will the rivalry spill into future matches? And what happens if they are placed in the same draw again soon? Fans are already buzzing about the possibility of a rematch, with many expecting record-breaking viewership if the matchup happens again in the near future. As of now, both players have retreated into preparation mode for their upcoming matches. Rybakina held a closed practice session, avoiding media entirely. Gauff practiced later in the afternoon, appearing focused and blocking out questions from reporters with a polite but firm, "No comments today." Their camps are reportedly keeping communication tight, offering no additional statements. Still, the drama continues to swirl online. TikTok creators have made hundreds of videos analyzing the feud. Reddit threads dedicated to the rivalry have gained thousands of comments. Fan accounts on Instagram are posting comparison reels. Even other athletes have quietly liked posts hinting at the tension, further fueling speculation. But perhaps the most surprising twist came late in the evening when a resurfaced clip from last year showed Rybakina speaking warmly about Gauff's progress. She praised Gauff's fighting spirit and her evolution as a player. This discovery added a layer of complexity to the narrative. Are the current tensions truly personal, or simply the natural result of high-stake competition between two elite athletes? The resurfaced clip reminded fans that rivalries can ebb and flow, and that even the most intense moments can pass with time. As night fell, sports networks continued covering the unfolding drama. Commentators questioned whether the media is inflating the conflict, or whether the players genuinely have issues with each other. Some warned against overanalyzing every moment, while others insisted that what we're witnessing is a genuine rivalry forming in real time. One analyst noted that rivalries elevate the sport, giving fans emotional investment and adding layers of unpredictability to tournaments. What is clear is that both players are heading toward pivotal moments in their seasons. Rybakina is seeking consistency after dealing with injuries earlier in the year. Gauff is pushing to maintain her ranking and navigate the pressure that accompanies her rising global profile. These pressures collide not only on court, but also in the media, among fans, and behind the scenes. As the season progresses, every encounter between the two will be magnified, every handshake filmed, every expression interpreted. For now, all we can do is watch. Watch for new interviews, new reactions, and new sparks. Watch for any sign of reconciliation, or further escalation. The tennis world is holding its breath, waiting to see how this rivalry unfolds. Because rivalries are not built in a day. They grow through matches, through emotions, through tiny moments that become bigger than anyone expected. And in this case, with both players at the height of their careers, the stakes could not be higher. As the cameras dim and players retreat into preparation for their next battles, one thing remains undeniable. The Rybakina Gauff storyline has become one of the most compelling narratives of the year. Fans will tune in not just to watch the tennis, but to watch the tension, the psychology, the unspoken dynamics between two of the tour's brightest stars. Whether they remain rivals or eventually find mutual respect, their journey will shape the WTA landscape for months, if not years, to come. This is Trending Update USA. I am Steffan, bringing you today's shocking twist in the escalating drama between Elena Rybakina and Coco Gauff. Stay with us, because this story is far from over.